example which I raised with ministers a couple of weeks ago. I searched for David Icke on YouTube, then went back to the homepage. I then searched for 5G, just 5G in, back to my homepage. When I went back to my own homepage on YouTube, the top recommended video for me on my homepage before I got to the authoritative sources on anything was a conspiracy theory video titled "Sickness from 5G Cell Towers, Technology is Killing Us Very Slowly." So that's a misinformation video, and that's the top thing coming up on my homepage. This week, I've done the same thing. I searched for David Icke on my YouTube account. I then went back to the homepage, and the third or fourth video recommended to me on the homepage was an anti-vaccination video. Now, I hadn't searched on anything to do with vaccinations. There was nothing in the video when I looked through it that mentioned David Icke. So I don't know why I was having promoted at me an anti-vaccination video. Why would that be?
I can't speak to that specific example, but what I can tell you is that we have moved in the direction where, first, where there are videos or content that violate our policies, that we do work to remove them. And specifically as it relates to borderline content, if it's content that may come up to but not cross the lines of our policies, we work to reduce the availability of that. So for example, when in the UK, 99% of the time when somebody is searching for coronavirus or an iteration of that, the top 10 search results are from high quality and authoritative sources. In addition, I know that there have been questions in the past as it relates to, well, what's being recommended to me? And on the recommendation-driven watch time of this type of borderline content, it reflects less than 1% of the totality of the watch time of content that's being recommended. And so we, as I was saying before, we use the different levers to reduce the availability of borderline content while raising more authority.
Yeah, but it's not working on something so obvious as this. I mean, we've heard in a previous panel about some of the misinformation and how damaging that is as a result from some of the health professionals. And these are, in both of these cases, these were not things that this was not something I was searching for. It was not the results of a search. It was what was promoted to me on my homepage. And that's what I find so shocking about this. YouTube has decided what to put on my homepage. It's not the result of something I've searched for, something that's slipped in at maybe 9th or 10th down a list of searches where the top 8 were very sensible. It's come in up there on my homepage, relatively high up, so that when I just go back to home, this is what I am being encouraged by YouTube to watch. I mean, surely that is utterly irresponsible of YouTube. And I have been raising this issue with you and with many of your colleagues repeatedly. I raised this with you in December 2017, in March 2018, in April 2019, in committee sessions like this, as to what you are doing to stop your algorithms actively promoting misinformation or dangerous information to people.
I don't know if there was a question in there. And I do appreciate that you over the years have shared your perspective and held us to account. And what I can say as it relates to the information that doesn't violate our policies, and I can reference the David Icke channel, for example, that this was something that was raised to us. And what we realized is we looked at his content and we determined first that certain videos should be demonetized. But then we realized that our content policies as it relates to COVID weren't going far enough, and that we expanded our content policies to under the harmful and dangerous policy to include content that contradicts medical or scientific facts. So for example, that there's a cure for COVID, or that 5G is a symptom or the means in which COVID is transmitted. And so with David Icke, first we demonetized, we kicked him out of the partnership program. But then we started removing the videos because we expanded our content policy to adapt to the dynamics that were happening. And then we ultimately terminated his account. So there's always more to do in this area. And we have, as it relates to this type of borderline content, if it's not violative, we've made more than 30 changes in the last 14 to 16 months. And we're always looking to improve in this area. And I continue to, I look forward to continuing to hear more from you on this.
Well, I feel a little bit like Groundhog Day and like I'm raising the same thing each time. Can I ask you if you could write to us, to both the DCMS committee and to the Home Affairs Select Committee, specifically on what you are doing to deal with the homepage recommendations, not the searches, not the stuff that goes so far that you take it off completely, but what are you doing to prevent YouTube on the homepage recommendations pushing information that is false?
Will do.
Thank you, Chair.